Hey everyone, welcome to episode 303, Love and Logic, Natural Consequences. Welcome to the Harmony in the Home podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Hutchison. I'm a counselor, a life coach, and most importantly, an imperfect mom doing this work right along with you. And my goal on our podcast is to go from chaos to calm, feel less frazzled, and have more fun within your four walls to have more harmony in your home. Hey everyone. So I love all the feedback you're giving from previous episodes. And something I get a lot of is, what do I do when my kids do XYZ? Because they will do crazy things, just like we did when we were little. They are still learning and growing. Before we get into some examples of natural consequences from Love and Logic, I want to talk to you about the letter writing that I've been sharing with so many of you. And I'm pretty much just sharing it only on the podcast because the reason why I love the letter writing for me personally is because it's done offline and there's no social media involved. And when I did start sharing it on social media, I felt like I was spending so much time in my email and it was defeating the purpose. And I wasn't able to coach all the parents that I love helping. I wasn't able to write. I wasn't able to do things to help family members that need my help. And so sharing it on the podcast is a great way to talk about it and share it with the lifers. And just let me know which state you live in. It's only available in US and Canada. It's so, I want to say relaxing, but it's so therapeutic. I'm completely addicted. I feel like I'm having an affair with an envelope because I'm always trying to think of cracks in my day where I can fit it in. And I just want to make sure that your state is eligible. There's also bills in different states that they are trying to make it ineligible. So let me know what state you're in, and I will let you know the status of your state before you sign up, because I would hate for you to sign up and then find out that your state is ineligible. That would be no bueno. So send me an email at coachingkelly@aol.com, Facebook message, or smoke signals, and just let me know, and I will hook you up, Buttercup. So today we're talking about natural consequences, and I love this topic because so many times we will do things that have no relation to the crime, so to speak, that the child does. And so it's like Groundhog's Day because they're not learning their lesson, because they might, let's say, hit their brother and then we take away TV for a week. The child does not understand, especially when they're really young. They don't understand when the consequence doesn't fit the crime, so to speak. I don't want to call it a crime, but the infraction, I'll just say. When they don't see the correlation, then you're not going to see a correction of behavior over time. So I have some examples, and I also want you to email me some examples of things that are infractions in your house and you don't know how to handle it. Now, I want to take yelling off the table. I want to take spanking off the table, because that should never be a consequence for their behavior, is yelling or spanking or hitting or any type of name calling, because that just makes the behavior actually worse. You're actually putting gas on a fire when you're yelling and screaming. And then you're teaching them what to do during stressful moments, is that we're going to yell and scream and hit when we are in a stress state. Their first line of defense to figure out what to do when they're in a stress state is to look to see what mom and dad do, or their caregivers. What do mom and dad do when they're in traffic and they're frustrated, or when they have a lot of chores, or when their house is messy? What do they do when they're overwhelmed? What do they do when they're stressed? That's the same thing that I'm going to do. This is the messaging that they're telling themselves unconsciously. It's not done out of a vindictive way. It's just how the cookie crumbles. So a lot of times they will absorb some things from us. Other times they will not absorb things from us. So when you see a behavior that you don't approve of, check your side of the street first. Is this an area of growth that I need to work on? Are they yelling and hitting because I'm yelling and hitting and they're seeing it from me? So it's like monkey see, monkey do. If so, that is very empowering to know, because then you can change your behavior and you will see over time they will change their behavior. It does not happen overnight. It does not happen right away. It does not happen all the time. But you just sleep better knowing that your side of the street is clean. I remember where I was standing when I thought, oh my gosh, if I'm the problem, then I'm the solution. Because there was a lot of yelling, there was a lot of snapping, there was a lot of tense energy, but I was also very tense. So the more I chilled out, then it was like trickled down into my kids and they were able to chill out. So they are going to do things that are wackadoo. My kids still do things that are wackadoo. I'm 50 years old and I do things that are wackadoo. We are not expecting perfection. So when something happens, we have to have a consequence for that behavior. It's very natural to the consequence. It's not yelling and screaming the consequence. It's like, oh, that's a bummer. This happened, so now this has to happen. So I Googled some natural consequences. It says natural consequences are the outcome of a child's actions or inactions that occur naturally without adult intervention or added punishment. Examples include a child gets wet from not wearing a raincoat or being tired from staying up late. Some other examples, child forgets their lunch, natural consequences, they'll be hungry or just eat the free lunch at school. We don't want to be Ruby Frankie and not give them food, but they might get a less than desired, they forget their lunch, then they have to get the free lunch from school and it's just a PBJ and a fruit cup. Child doesn't put away their toys, the natural consequences that the toys might be misplaced or damaged. So a lot of times when my kids wouldn't put their toys away, I would say I would do the choice game consequence. We give them a choice, we turn to a game, and then the consequence would be that the toy might have to go in timeout. Oh, that's so sad. The toy is so sad. It has to go on top of the refrigerator until it can be taken care of nicely. Maybe tomorrow we'll try again. There's no yelling. There's no screaming. There's no shaming. There's no, I told you so, and this is the way it's goes. It's like, oh, that's a bummer. You're just as disappointed with them. And this is not just acting, because the consequence is the pain point, so to speak. It's kind of like when I was buying expensive sunglasses and then I would lose them. Guess what? I don't get expensive sunglasses anymore. I get the cheap ones from Amazon. Do I want the other ones that are more expensive and they're more like 70 to 100? Yes. Am I going to? No, because I've lost them. So you also want to model for your kids the natural consequences. How, oh, mommy made a bad choice or mommy was being irresponsible. So I'm going to go with the cheaper sunglasses for now and I'm going to save up money to buy the more expensive sunglasses. Child leaves a jacket outside, the natural consequences that they will get cold or wet. Sometimes if your child loses something or leaves something somewhere, then it is their responsibility to replace it. If they don't have money, then they can do chores around the house to pay for it, or pay for half, or pay for a portion. Or if the jacket is $30, you tell them it's $10 and they have to raise $3. So they just feel like they are contributing and they get the natural consequence. I have a child that is for some reason leaving pens in their pockets and the pen is not being emptied out and it's getting on the other clothes. And so they are in charge of replacing the clothes that have been damaged. If it was the first time, it's like, oh, this is an event, not a pattern. No consequence. If it happens more than once, which it has, then there's a consequence. And guess how many times it's happened since the consequence? 0. Because they realize like, oh, I need to be conscientious about this pen and take it out of my pocket before I put the laundry in the washing machine. Child doesn't brush their teeth. The natural consequences that they might get cavities. I think that's a little extreme. So the child doesn't brush their teeth, then mommy has to help you and do the ones in the back. So you don't want to brush your teeth, mommy's going to have to help you. My kids don't, well, now they're teenagers, and they actually brush their teeth. But when they were younger, if they don't want to brush their teeth, you can do it by yourself or your mommy can help you, or we can do both. You can do it first and I can do it second. Child doesn't do their homework, the natural consequences, they might fail the test or assignment. And there also can be consequences at home if they're not doing their homework. They don't get to go outside and play. That's a very easy consequence of not doing your homework. Child doesn't put their clothes away. The natural consequences that they might not be able to find them when they need them. Now, when the kids were younger, a big thing that we did was they loved reading books in our lap. And we did that probably 3 or 4 books a night. Berenstain Bears were very popular. And so if there was any type of chore or time necessary task, like take a shower, get dressed, put on your PJs, the whole getting ready to go to bed process, they know what's coming. Going to bed is very boring. And so they stall, they procrastinate, they put it off. They're very smart and wise. Just like we stall, we procrastinate when we know that something's coming that we don't want to do. Like if we're going to the workout and we don't want to do the workout. So we're like, oh, let me go quickly clean out the shavings of my pencil sharpener because I noticed that, like, we do the same thing. So a lot of times we want to turn our kids into the villain and then we're the victim of our children. When we do the same thing, they just do a smaller version of it. So instead of freaking out that they're stalling or procrastinating, we just have to realize like, oh, they need a little bit more incentive, so to speak, to make it a little bit more fun. We can turn it into a game. But when we were reading the books, and I would say, oh, we have to read the books by 7:00. And then if they were stalling and procrastinating, oh, that's such a bummer. We're doing 4 books. Now we're only going to be able to, I hope we don't have to only do 3 books. and they really wanted that fourth book. So instead of saying, oh, we're not going to do books at all, do it in stages, do it in small increments. So you have some leverage and you're not just throwing the baby out with the bathwater out of anger. Like, oh, you're not getting out of the bath. So guess what? We're not doing any books now. And then it's just meltdown after meltdown after meltdown. So you could say, oh, that's such a bummer. We got to get out. Otherwise we're only going to be able to do 3 books and not 4 books. I know you really want to do 4 books. And you're on the same team. If you listen back to Lily's podcast when she was on episode 300, she says over and over when they're on your side, when you feel like your parents are on your side, when you feel like anyone's on your side, you're going to be more willing to do stuff for them, with them, or as they're saying. So when we say our child's not listening, it doesn't mean that they have a hearing problem. It means they're not complying with what we're saying. And the reason why is usually because they're hungry, they're angry, they're lonely, they're tired, they feel a disconnect with the caregiver that's making the request. So we have to be we have to build that connection during the calm waters throughout the day. So then when these things come up, they're like, hey, this chick's on my side, I'm going to comply. And it's not so much push, pull, and there's no tug of war, so to speak. Child is angry at a parent for their own failure. The natural consequence is they might hurt the parent's feelings. Now, a lot of times if they do something that hurts someone, like with their words, or they say mean things, a lot of times they have a hot potato of pain. Just imagine pain is like a hot potato. Glennon said this one time and it made so much sense. When your child is hurting or they're frustrated or they're angry, they are holding a hot potato, and the hot potato is that emotion. And so what they want to do is they want to give it away as soon as possible. They don't want to feel that way, so they want to give that hot potato to someone else. And they usually do that with their words or their actions or their inactions. So when you know this, you don't take it personally and you realize, oh my gosh, my kid's just being a kid and they're passing on the hot potato of emotion. That's completely normal. I do it too. So then we can come from a place of understanding and not from a place of anger. And then we can show up in a way that is with assertiveness, with that pack leader energy. But it's not one of dysregulation, because when we're dysregulated, then we dysregulate our children too. We need to be the flight attendant in the turbulent road. We need to know that their hot potato of pain is coming our way. We could be the dog to kick, but guess what? We don't have to take on the hot potato. So when they do something like that, a good consequence would be not yelling, not screaming, not snapping, not barking, not name calling, not shaming. That does not work, just like it doesn't work for us. If you have a boss and they yell or scream or name call or shame you or anything, that actually makes you less wanting to do the work at the workplace. So they could write a letter. If they don't write yet, they could draw a picture. That's the way you teach empathy. That's the way you teach remorse, is by showing them this happened. For every action, there is a reaction. And so the consequence for that is we need to go repair that. How can we repair it? As they get older, we need to teach them the 4 R's of an apology. We're going to repair it. Whether it's the hug, if they hit mommy or daddy, then they have to go kiss the boo-boo. Oh, that hurt me so much. Oh my goodness. Give mommy kisses where it hurts. Go get stuffed animal for mommy. And you talk like that too, so they understand like, oh, this is a big deal. Yelling and screaming, and when they're so used to it, that does nothing. It goes right over their head. But when we get quiet and we get emotional too, and we show them our vulnerable side, then they show and learn about remorse and about repairing. So the 4 R's of an apology, which creates forgiveness, is you take responsibility, you show remorse, how are you going to repair it, and not repeat it. And that is very powerful to teach them. And you don't have to teach them all at once. When they're younger, you really want to teach the repair part. And that's where the natural consequences come in, because that's where they're going to learn remorse and responsibility and by repairing it. And then as they get older, you can tell them and show them, if mommy is apologizing for yelling every day only to wake up the next day and yell again, that is not showing the 4 R's of an apology. Yes, I have remorse afterwards. Yes, I'm taking responsibility. But how am I repairing it? How am I promising that there's a recommitment and that there's not going to be a repeat of this? The kid will lose trust in the caregiver. And we don't want that, because once we break connection, we are in deep doo-doo. When that connection is not there and they don't feel like they're on your side, you are going to have a lot of tug of wars, a lot of fist to fist, a lot of fists up. But once you put the tug of war down and you drop the rope, then they have nothing to pull from. And they realize like, oh, this mom, this dad, they're not so bad after all. So try these natural consequences. Let me know if you need any help in this area. This is one of my specialties. I love doing it in the classroom. I love doing it with my own kids. I love doing it with myself and showing them that even though I'm in my 30s, 40s, and 50s, we still have to do this. And it's always a journey, not a destination, just like our parenting is. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Hey mamas, thanks for listening. If you had any ahas, clicks, or those lightning bolt moments while listening, you have to check out my free parenting bootcamp, where we take all of this to the next level and we try to create even more awakenings for ourselves so that we can connect more with our kids and never yell at them again. You can sign up at www.coachingkelly.com. And if you really want to fill up my love cup, send me an email of what your aha was, what your click was, what was that lightning bolt moment while you were listening. I want nothing more in life than for you to have harmony in your home and to learn how to be an imperfect mom like me, which allows your kids to be imperfect too, each and every day. Thanks for listening.